Hello friends, and welcome to another Modern League. We're returning to Hammer Time, one of my favorite decks in Modern, and one that is picked up quite a bit in popularity. People are finally starting to give it the credit that it is deserved, and a big part of that is the card Urza's Saga, allowing us to pull a Colossus Hammer out of the deck without casting it, allowing us to create constructs. Urza's Saga is really the icing on this cake. We've also running 4 copies of Esper Sentinel. I've done some adjustments to the list so that we're able to play 4 copies of Mishra's Bauble alongside the Sentinel. A lot of players have been switching the Bauble for the Sentinel. I've been told that the Bauble is an incredible card in this deck. I know that the card is incredible in Magic, period. But I also know how strong Esper Sentinel is in this deck, and I would not want to cut that. So I've made some adjustments to be able to play both. One of that is that we only got 3 Memnites. And then I've also taken out some of the utility cards, so there's no Pithing Needle in the main. And then I took out the Giver of Ruins. Although we did bring in Swiftfoot Boots, so we do have a way to fetch up some protection for a creature. And Swiftfoot Boots doesn't die to a Fatal Push or a Lightning Bolt. Now, because Hammer Time is so popular, we've brought in Manriki-Gusari, an equipment that destroys other equipment. And then we've also got 3 Sanctifiers on en-Vec. And we're running 2 Drannith Magistrate this time, which is going to be our answer to like Living End and whatnot. So let's jump into the queue and find our opponent. Yep, we keep this. First turn, Esper Sentinel. Okay, Steam Vent's untapped, so maybe we get to draw a card? No, that's a Delver of Secrets. Okay, so we could go get Hammer with Steelshaper's Gift and put Hammer onto the battlefield, which would be better for Puresteel Paladin. It would mean that Sigarda's Aid off the top would be a worse draw, but it would make Plains a better draw. The problem is we don't have the necessary equipments. We don't have Metalcraft. Maybe we'll just go Stoneforge this turn. And I'll go get the hammer with this. We got Steelshaper's Gift if we need to go get something else. No attacks. Okay, Delver does not flip. So Stoneforge Mystic is keeping that at bay. They got a Thought Scour. You going to pay for the Esper Sentinel there, friend? No, we get to draw a card. Very nice. Well, we got a Stoneforge Mystic is an excellent blocker for Ragavan. So is Esper Sentinel. Maybe we draw planes here. We get another Nexus. We probably just use the Urza Saga, make a critter. Although if we put down Hammer, go get Spear, put down Spear, then next turn we could go get Springleaf Drum and play the Paladin, put everything onto like Sentinel or something. That's probably the way to go, I think. And pass back. I think we'll have enough mana to put the equipment onto Inkmoth Nexus if we want to. Really be dependent on how they tap their mana. Okay, this is an easy block. Will they let us draw a card? Esper Sentinel's drawn 2 cards. It's looking pretty good for us at this point. They're tapped out, so I think we should just win here. Make a mana. Go get Springleaf Drum. Mega Fofo, hello, good morning. Alright, so we can play a land. Hey there, Cylon. We want to go white-white to play the Puresteel. We want to activate the Inkmoth Nexus. So let's see here. This is the newly controlled one. This is not. Let's activate this one. White mana. White mana. Play Puresteel. Equip the hammer to the Nexus. And that's a scoop. Nice. Okay, so we're playing against Delver. We're going to want Path to Exile for their Murktides. We're going to want Prismatic Endings. We could bring in Sanctifiers. They do have protection from red, so they're going to be good versus blockers versus Ragavan. They're going to take the red instants out of their graveyard, but I'm not too pumped about the Sanctifier, so if we don't have space for it, that's probably the card we're going to be looking to take out. I think we can probably take out Cranial Plating. I don't think they're going to have a way to pull the equipment out of our deck. Um, excuse me. I do like Memnite. Being able to block Ragavan could be very important. So it looks like I'm going to have a hard time pulling cards for this matchup. Yeah, we got turn 1 Sigarda's a turn 2 Mystic, go get Hammer. Turn 3, depending on our mana. I mean, this hand looks great, we'll keep for sure. We can throw the Paradise Mantle onto the Stoneforge Mystic if we want. Get some extra mana going. But this is on the draw, so they're going to have access to the Ragavan here. Ragavan's going to be able to connect. Ooh, Force of Negation on the Sigarda is a good call, opponent. So that is a 2-for-1, but they're going to be able to reclaim some advantage with his Ragavan. What do they exile? Urza Saga. I would have liked to have drawn that. Memnite? Okay, so we got a pair of blockers for Ragavan now. We could play Springleaf Drum, Memnite, and Stoneforge Mystic. And then I guess we leave the Memnite untapped. It doesn't work that way, does it? We have to leave the Stoneforge untapped? Alright, let's go get Hammer. Oh, maybe we don't. Maybe this is a counterspell. Okay. Opponent is ready with the counterspells, which means we do not have a blocker for Ragavan for the second turn in a row. Opponent's going to get more treasure. Maybe pull a card that they can cast off the top of our deck. Puresteel Paladin. That is a card, and they could cast it. It would allow them to equip hammers that they steal off the top of our deck. So yeah, they're going to play Puresteel. Hey there, King. Hey, we got Path to Exile. I'm more interested in saving this for like a Murktide. We're doing all right. Just started a stream here, so pretty happy to be playing Hammer Time again. Think we will get the namesake card here, get the Hammer. We don't have any yet, so it's good to have one. And pass. I guess we could throw down the Paradise Mantle. It costs a life to equip that to something unless we want to tap a critter, and I want to save the Stoneforge Mystic. Let's just pass. Hold up path. Where's my Esper Sentinel? I want free draws every time my opponent casts a spell. Now they use the Lightning Bolt on the Memnite. It's a good trade for us, I guess. They're using their removal spells on our 0-mana critters. I'll absolutely throw this Stoneforge Mystic under the Ragavan. So this is going to be Murktide? Yep. What do you say we kill that immediately? Do it on their turn so they don't have access to, what's name? Force of Negation. Inkmoth Nexus, so it looks like we're just going to be getting a Lurrus here. Do I want to play a Hammer? I don't think so. We don't have Puresteel Paladin in the graveyard here. So if we draw like Sigarda's Aid, I want to be able to throw the Hammer onto the Inkmoth. Taking damage. And another Plains. I guess we just throw the Lurrus down, see if we can get it to resolve. Oh, nice. Okay, play Stoneforge. And we could get Hammer, we could get Spear, we could get Swiftfoot Boots. Kind of leaning towards secondary Hammer, but Spear is pretty good. Being, you know, like our life total is under threat, having a Spear could put us out of reach. But having the second Hammer would be really good if we drew Sigarda's Aid. I'm going to take the Spear. Okay, so they start off with a Thought Scour. Flipping over a Braid. Keep that in the graveyard, thank you. No need for any of those to show up. Is this another Murktide? It is. So they got a 5/5 Murktide. That's going to close the game out pretty quick. We do have an Inkmoth Nexus for a single block, but they're tapped out here. Let's see if we can get something good off the top. Not that lucky. I think we draw a card here with Silent Clearing. Hey, there's a good draw. I would say that's one of the best draws. Another hammer. Okay. So let's see here. We have Paradise Mantle to get us another mana. So we have enough mana to... let's see here. We could play a hammer and a Shadowspear. We could play double hammer. I think we just play double hammer onto Lurrus. And then gain like a ton of life. Let's cast this, draw a card, see what we get. That's an extra mana. So I think we can go double hammer Shadowspear now. Don't think there's much reason of putting it onto Nexus, so let's just see here. We got 1 mana to activate the Nexus. And then equip Hammer, 1 mana to play the Shadowspear, but they can block with Murktide so they don't die. So yeah, we're not going to get the Inkmoth Nexus to kill. Let's just make a really scary Stoneforge Mystic that they have to block. Lurrus lifelink is enough. Well, yeah, I figure we put the equipment onto the Stoneforge, and then they have to block the Stoneforge. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Because we have double Colossus Hammer, Shadowspear on the Stoneforge, swing in, plus the Lurrus. I mean, we got Sigarda's Aid, we're missing the Hammer, but Hammer's the easiest card to find in the deck. We're going to keep this. We got double equippers. We're just missing Hammer. The question is, do I put the Ornithopter down turn 1, exposing it to potential removal? Yeah, land plus aid. I'm thinking I'm probably going to throw down the Bauble as well, get some information on what their deck is, and if I think they can kill an Ornithopter turn 1, I probably won't play it, just in case we draw the Hammer. Let's take a look at what our opponent is playing. Phyrexian Unlife. Okay, so we can play the Ornithopter immediately. Because they're playing... what's the name? Yeah, they're not killing Ornithopter. Ad Nauseam. That's the name of the deck. Alright, so we can play the Urza Saga, but that means we can't put the Paladin down this turn. I think I'm probably fine with that, so that we can get the Urza Saga running, because our hand isn't doing too much otherwise. And we need to get the, we need to get a Hammer. Urza Saga gets Hammer. So, nothing, unfortunately, we can do this turn. We just have to pass back. Attack with Ornithopter. Non-damage based removal is one of the better ways to deal with a lot of what Hammer Time is putting out. Hammer Time does have Lurrus, which allows it to grind surprisingly well. Shadowspear. Alright, so I think we have to play Puresteel this turn, so we'll just play Puresteel Shadowspear. We don't really need to play Puresteel, right? We could just play Inkmoth Nexus, and then go get the hammer, activate the Inkmoth Nexus, put the hammer onto the Inkmoth. Because we have Sigarda's Aid. This is perfect. And we can even make a Karnstruct this turn. So, yeah, Puresteel Paladin, we don't need that. Go ahead. Okay, so none of these come off of Suspend yet. I think we're good to go. Yeah, we're going to be killing you with Infect anyways. GG. Magus of the Churros, hello. Okay, so with the Urza Saga on the stack. Add mana. Activate Inky. Okay. Go get Hammer. Equip Hammer to Inky. Let's go. Turn 4. Hey, that's totally reasonable. This is turn 4. Opponent had 3 full turns of magic. And it was really important that we did that turn, because if the opponent got their 4th turn, they were winning. Imagine not playing black removal. Okay, so what are we going to do versus this deck? We got Seal of Cleansing. Pithing Needle. No, that says mana abilities can be used, so we don't really care about that. Hey there, Flashheart. Yeah, doing okay. Playing one of my favorite decks. Hope you're doing well, too. Unlife is 3MC, 3 CMC. It is possible to hit because we have Springleaf Drum and Paradise Mantle. So we can actually hit cards that are up to 5, but it is difficult to hit anything above a 1. Oh, you just finished Hammer and Paper. Nice! I hope that you were able to get some deals on some of the cards. I know that quite a few of them have gone up quite a bit in price recently. Alright, I don't think I'm going to want to bring in too many cards in this matchup. We're going to bring in Seal of Cleansing. It gets rid of Unlife. It gets rid of their big mana thing. Their Lotus. So we just got to take out a couple cards. I'm going to take out Swiftfoot Boots and probably... No, I want to keep the Cranial Plating. Maybe a Mishra's Bauble Because we're not going to be playing a long game, Mishra's Bauble is pretty good if we can play like a Lurrus game. Stops Tutor and Bloom. Thank you. Absolutely want to play that guy. So we got 30 seconds left to pull some cards out. Ornithopter and Bauble, I guess. Totally worth getting the Magistrate. Thanks, friends. You had the deck before the upgrades. Oh, okay. So you were pretty solid already. I mean, the Urza sagas, like you say, those hurt quite a bit, but this hand doesn't hurt at all. This hand's amazing. Let's keep this. Second turn, go get Hammer. Third turn, play Puresteel Paladin, start swinging. So because we're doing this on our third turn, we're doing it on our third turn, but we're on the draw. So opponent gets their fourth turn this match. Or sorry, this game. Oh, the Ren and 6? Yeah, those things, they're pretty much the reason that I stopped playing Jund in paper. Okay, so turn 2 Lotus Bloom. Okay, that helps out quite a bit. We got Pentad Prism coming down. So they're going to have a lot of mana. Oh, Urza Saga. I mean, yeah, we're playing the Stoneforge Mystic this turn anyways, so let's play the Saga. Go get Hammer. And attack for 1. Get that early damage in. Oh, there's Unlife. Unlife's actually going to be a really good one here for them. Going to be able to buy them a couple of turns. So yeah, I think our plan is still the same though. Puresteel Paladin, Colossus Hammer, see what we draw. We can get another hammer with the Saga, but the Phyrexian Unlife is keeping us from setting a decent clock here. Only hitting for 12, so they're going to get another turn out of this Unlife. I think that's what they were hoping for the Unlife to do last time, but we had the pesky Inky. So they're drawing a Thoughtseize, be able to take away our Paladin. Not so bad. Sigarda's Aid, not really where we want to be. We've already got Puresteel Paladin on the battlefield. Alright, we could make a Construct here. If we do that, we cannot put Luris to hand. I think it's probably fine to just go get to make Construct. I don't think playing Puresteel Paladin is really going to do us any good, although we do have the Silent Clearing here. I might actually just be into drawing a card with Silent Clearing. Yeah, Bauble should be in their upkeep. I wasn't thinking Thoughtseize from them, but I should have. We saw the Thoughtseize with the Bauble. So I'm just wondering if I should make a Construct, which basically has no value. I think I would rather just keep the 1 mana for the Silent Clearing here. I'm honestly thinking about just grabbing another Mishra's Bauble with this. Because again, like, nothing changes our clock. As long as they have the unlife down. We don't have any way to deal them damage out of combat, so get a Bauble, I guess. Another Urza Saga. We'll just make sure we'll send in double lethal. So if they had some way to remove the Memnite, we still have lethal on board here. I mean, not lethal because of the unlife, but we can at least get them to 0, is what I'm saying. They could have Angel's Grace here, which would give them an extra turn. Okay, they don't. Hammer would draw a card, you're right. So, yeah, getting Hammer would have been better than Bauble because we would have just drawn the card right away. They're about to draw another Prism. But this is their big turn. They've got all the mana they need. And they have Unlife on the battlefield, so they can go Ad Nauseam and win here. Okay, so this is death. We're going to want to draw a card, see if we would have gotten the, what's name? Seal of Cleansing. So if we had played an equipment, we would have drawn Seal of Cleansing. So we would have won this game. I mean, it was really tiny odds, but we could have played a little bit better and actually won. Alright, so we're back on the play for this game. Let's get to it. We have Puresteel Paladin, we have Esper Sentinel, we're keeping this, even though we don't have Hammer. Hammer is the easiest card to find in the deck, and we have an Equipper. So absolutely keep this. We have Urza's Saga as well. So we could play Urza's Saga turn 2, Puresteel Paladin turn 3. depending on our draw here, but definitely starting with Esper Sentinel. We can take off the stop on the upkeep there. Oh, thank you for the free draw. Steelshaper's Gift! Nice draw! Okay, we're looking pretty good here with a Springleaf Drum off the top, too. So we could go Urza Saga, Springleaf Drum, Puresteel Paladin, attack with Esper Sentinel, and then next turn we can go get Hammer and start doing some wicked stuff. How long have I been playing Magic? Since the Ice Age. So that's like 95, I think. Loki, thanks for the follow, friend. Now, I've been playing competitive Magic since Theros, but I've been like around the game, exposed to the game since the Ice Age. Sigarda's Aid. Okay, that's not the card we really care about here. Just go get Hammer. Play Hammer. Let's see what we draw. Another Hammer? No, it's another Sigarda's Aid. Equip to Esper Sentinel. That way they'll have to pay 11 mana if they want to counter a thing. Attack all. Might as well play Sigarda's Aid, I guess. So they need to have either Phyrexian Unlife here, or they could have Angel's Grace. Playing an Oracle, so that's a blocker. That's not going to work when I have Urza Saga getting me a second Hammer. I think we're good to go, but maybe not. Maybe they have something we haven't thought of. Another Paladin, not that special. We're going to go get Hammer. I don't think I really need a Construct here. We're going to have 2 lethal threats anyways. I'll just make a mana. They probably have Grace, yes. Another Sigarda's Aid. We could draw a card. We could go get Lurrus. I think we'll just draw a card here. Can still go get Lurrus. Alright, let's attack. So yeah, there's the Angel's Grace. Let's draw a card. So this puts them to 1. And I think we just play Stoneforge Mystic here. Go get another hammer. Just all the hammers all the time. Hammer time. Oh, we could be dead. We worked hard, but opponent's combo might be happening right now. No! So brutal. We should have won this match, but instead we're going to lose it. Good games. Well, our opponent's going to be pretty happy about that. They've had a hard time versus Hammer Time recently, so they managed to get the W. Yeah, this hand is wicked. Absolutely keeping this. Hey, Pedro, the opponent won there. They were able to combo off. Had double Angel's Grace, so one Angel's Grace to work like a warship, and then another Angel's Grace to win the game. Okay, opponent is mulliganing. Their Luris deck, which could mean Hammer Time, it could mean Rakdos, could mean Death Shadow, could mean Grixis Control. It's Mill. Okay. Mill is back. Pears, thanks for the follow, friend. So let's see here. We have Esper Sentinel, Paradise Mantle, plus Hammer. So we don't need the Mishra's Bauble for Metalcraft. On upkeep, I'm going to crack the Bauble. So they just drew Crypt Incursion, which would enable them to gain a ton of life. So yeah, I guess Mill is back with Tasha's Hideous Laughter. No Sigarda's Aid. So I'm thinking we probably just go Puresteel Paladin, Paradise Mantle, draw a card, play Hammer, and look to try and do some serious damage next turn. We could probably play Springleaf Drum first. No, then we don't get to play the Hammer, right? Because we're going to use the Paradise Mantle, equip it onto the Sentinel. Ooh, hold on a second. We're going to be low on equipment if we want to use the Paradise Mantle. One Springleaf Drum, tap this, play Paladin, play Mantle. At least then we have enough to equip, but we're not going to be able to play the Hammer. We can play Drum, Paladin, Mantle. We're not going to have the mana for Hammer. We could just play Paladin, Mantle, and then if we draw a 0 mana artifact, we're good to go. But we're not really hitting in for damage this turn regardless. Okay, we draw Plains, pass back. We're going to have a pretty big hit next turn. We should have just equipped that for free while we had the opportunity. We don't know what the opponent has here. They could have removal. So we could have put that onto the Esper Sentinel. There's Hideous Laughter, so that's going to crush our deck. We're going from 37 cards into our library to 3. Crushing. Exiled 33 cards. Is this a may for the draw? You may draw a card, okay? Is Mill the good guy now? It might be. It might be. So Shadowspear's gone. Double Hammer. So it looks like there's one hammer left in the deck. Nope, here's a hammer in the graveyard. So the hammer in our hand is the last one. Alright, so we'll get Lurrus here. We're probably just dead, regardless, but we can make some plays. Do you have any mill card at all? Any card that your deck is named for? Any land, even? Any land in hand? Visions of Beyond, that only draws them one card. Basically anything, yes. That is not the card that does it, though. This card should do it. We only have one card in hand, so they can cast... Destroy this creature? Sure. I think that's pretty good, actually, because we're not going to be able to Luris and then equip the spear. Oh, the spear is exiled, isn't it? Okay, we didn't even have the option of the spear. We could have grabbed an extra hammer, though, put it onto the Ornithopter, and that would have won. I mean, they might still have it. Need cast Paladin and then equip Thopter. Thopter loses flying, so that doesn't work. We get the Sigarda's Aid, so I think Sigarda's Aid actually does it. Where's Colossus Hammer? Sigarda's Aid to Ornithopter. And attack. Okay, so Swiftfoot Boots, it's okay. Cranial Plating's actually pretty good here. What do we need out of the sideboard? Looks like our sideboard isn't really very well set up versus Mill. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Opponent got punished for making a mistake. Could bring in Prismatic Ending for their crabs. Yeah, if they did that, how are we not dead? Yeah, we should have been dead. And then yeah, if they had done the spell during their upkeep, they even like, wow, I forgot Sentinel was the first spell. I mean, I figured I could, sympathize and been like, yeah, I was in that same situation last match where if I had played properly, I would have drawn the card I needed to win second game, but instead I lost the match. But that would be rewarding our opponent's behavior. Oh, this hand is so close! If we had a white source, we would absolutely keep this. So what are we going to throw here? I think we just throw the Ornithopter. And we play Urza Saga first. Ooh, Hedron Crab. I kind of want to end it. Kind of want to just end the crab before it can mill us. But like Urza's Saga Memnite Paradise Mantle is such a strong start. And then we can go Sigarda's Aid Prismatic Ending next turn. I really want to play this Saga as early as possible so we can search up that hammer. Alright, so they're going to get a couple of mills with the Hedron Crab. Actually, remember to equip the Paradise Mantle this game? Oh, what? Do you only have one land opponent? Alright, do we make a Construct? I think we just play Sigarda's Aid. In that case, we might as well end as well. So they're basically the same. This one just has more toughness. Surgical Extraction on my ending. Sure thing. You got it. And they leave the Prismatic Ending in the graveyard for reasons. Do we want a Construct here? I think we just want to attack with a Memnite. So I'm just going to make a mana. Go get Hammer. Equip Hammer. Play Silent Clearing. No, let's just go get Lurrus here. Oh, there's a land. Another Urza Saga. Very nice. Let's start with an attack. They'll probably have a kill spell for the Memnite here. Yep, Drown in the Loch kills the Memnite. We can Lurrus and get it back. Oh, now they're drawing lands. We don't have anything we can do here. I'm just going to hit F6. Is this Hideous Laughter again? Yep. We go from 39 cards to 7. But we have Puresteel Paladin in the graveyard, so we can cast that with another hammer. Let's go. This game is over. Let's play the Colossus Hammer first so we don't draw a card with it. Actually, it's a May, so whatever, it's fine. Pay the 1. Equip this to Lurrus. Play the Puresteel. Equip to Memnite. And attack. We got Sigarda's Aid, we got Hammer, this hand is a keep. We got Inkmoth Nexus to carry the Hammer, but that's not going to work until turn 3. So let's see here. We go Inkmoth Nexus, Springleaf Drum, turn 2, Sigarda's Aid. No, we got to land the Sigarda's Aid immediately, and just in case they have any kind of hand disruption. Oh yeah, absolutely. The Ad Nauseam players seem very nice. It was a nice dichotomy between the two players where we had two very chatty players. One of them, you know, was a chill person, and then the other one was salty. All right, so we wanted to play Sigarda's Aid first, which requires planes. We'll leave the Paradise Mantle in hand, because we can throw that onto a creature for free with Sigarda's Aid later. Okay, opponent with an island. And we get Cranial Plating. So I think we probably play Inkmoth Nexus, Springleaf Drum here. And then just pass. And we're set up for the win if our opponent taps out. There's no way they're going to tap out, though. Another Inkmoth Nexus. Cool. I wonder if we just go get Lurrus this turn. Because they're like holding up Counterspell. So if we just go get Lurrus, then their Counterspell doesn't do anything. We can play the Inkmoth Nexus. And then we have 2 Inkmoth Nexus ready to kill next turn. So I just really did not want to throw my only hammer into a counterspell there. Tap your mana. Opponent is too smart. Okay, so there's a counterspell. We don't have enough mana to get the Inkmoth Nexus to carry a hammer now. We could attack with a Nexus, just hit them for 1. Or we could slam down a Cranial Plating. Kind of don't mind just putting down a Cranial Plating here. Or maybe we wait for their turn. Yeah, we'll put down Cranial Plating end of their turn. Now, it would have been pretty nice for this matchup if we'd had an Esper Sentinel. Esper Sentinel is one of the best cards for this matchup, allowing you to draw so many cards. Ooh, Field of Ruin to get rid of one of our Nexus. Ugly. Another hammer, nice. So we'll equip Or sorry, we'll activate both Inkmoth Nexus and attack. And if they just take 2 Infect, they just take 2 Infect. But if they try and kill one... Oh, no, sorry, that's not going to work anyway. Yeah, just 2 Infect for you. Well, this is going to be tough from here. Opponent has so many options. Oh, I like that they're tapping the Field of Ruin. So we activate 2, and then we can put a hammer on one of them. Or may as well like a Cranial Plating on one of them. So this one is newly controlled. Tap it for mana. Okay, so we have 1 mana left. Could equip the Cranial Plating. This way we don't have to play into a counterspell. So that's 5, 6. Would put them to 8. Or we could try and kill Teferi. Oh, cool. So they held up 2 mana, weren't able to do anything with it. Our land's so strong. Puresteel Paladin. Okay. So that's 5, 6. We actually have 7 with a Paradise Mantle. Let's swing in. But they do have the Field of Ruin here to get rid of this Inkmoth Nexus. Alright, let's try a hammer. Oh. Guess we should go to the next step here. Go to after blocks. Hammer. There's the counterspell. Take 1. What is the opponent doing here? Prismatic Ending on Cranial Plating. Cool. I like that they didn't hit Sigarda's aid. And another Field of Ruin to kill one of our Nexus. Oh, there's a Snapcaster Mage. What's that going to target? Oh, they're going to be able to draw 2 more cards with that Archmage Charm. So that brings their hand right back up. And now they got 6 cards in hand. Alright, what are they going to do here? So they play a Scalding Tarn. They got 5 cards left. They got a Field of Ruin in play for one of our Inkmoth. And there's another Teferi Time Raveler. What are they going to do with that? Tick up. Steelshaper's Gift can go get another hammer. But we've got a Teferi in the way here. Alright, attack him for 2 Infect. Go get a Plains. So we got double white mana. We can play Puresteel Paladin, I think. Could play Stoneforge. Thinking Puresteel is probably the way to go. Then we can draw a card with Paradise Mantle if Puresteel resolves. Opt from the opponent, see if they can find a counterspell. So they do keep 1 card on top. But we do get to keep our Puresteel Paladin. Alright, let's cast Paradise Mantle. So we could Steelshaper, or we could Colossus Hammer here. Thinking we go Steelshaper, get another hammer. Ooh, Swiftfoot Boots. If we get Swiftfoot Boots onto one of our creatures, that could be GG. Alright, I decided to go get a hammer. Pass turn. Oh, they still got 5 cards in hand. That is a lot. And opponent now has 2 Teferis on the battlefield. Oppressive. Oh, we drew the boots. Stupid sorcery speed, everything. Alright, what has the opponent got in store for our Swiftfoot Boots? Yeah, 5 cards in hand and 6 mana untapped. Force of Negation. Using the alternate casting cost. So they can continue to hold up mana. Okay, put that onto the Nexus. Go to combat. Okay, so they have Cryptic Command, tap all creatures, draw a card. Can't really make mana here because we can't do anything during our opponent's turn here. Or sorry, during our combat because of 3 fairy. And we're tapped out, so I guess it's past turn. So we did manage to get 3 cards out of the opponent's hand last turn. But they're getting to draw extra cards with Teferi every turn, so this is not really a thing that we can continue to do. They do have a Field of Ruin, but they decide to tap it. Of course, they can untap it with Teferi here. I think this is GG. Hard-fought game, but we're over on turn 10 versus a control deck. Flip the table. I think it's time. Spell Snare for a Puresteel Paladin. You monster. Let's attack Hero of Dominaria, I guess? Teferi Time Raveler is such a problem, too. All their planeswalkers are problems. Problem planeswalkers. I would like to be able to cast my cards at instant speed, please. No dice. So they're just going to go ahead and use the Field of Ruin there. Don't blame them for that. Gets rid of... is that our 3rd Inkmoth Nexus? So we have 1 left. I would absolutely say the opponent has quite a large advantage at this point. 7 cards in hand. 3 planeswalkers on the board. And they've even got more time on the clock than us. It's difficult, though, to concede here, because, like, we feel so close. Like, one good turn and we could maybe win this game, but I don't think opponent's going to allow that. They have too many resources. Hey there, Blind. Yeah, it's been a very exciting game. I like how, like, it's felt like we've continued to stay in the game and continued to put pressure on the opponent, but I think that's going to end very soon. Teferi and Jace are a combo, So once Teferi gets up to 8 loyalty, they can tick down and just start exiling all of our permanents. So they can easily hit 4 permanents a turn, which basically ends any deck. But we've still got games 2 and 3. Hopefully we can make something happen with those. Opponent's down on time now. They're taking quite a bit of time with this turn. Wow, that turn turned the clock around by a lot. So they get rid of the Colossus Hammer? Yeah, they got rid of a hammer. Urza Saga, one of the best draws in the deck. Try and play a Puresteel Paladin from the graveyard. Opponent using quite a bit of time to think about this Paladin too. They've used nearly half their clock in this one game. Would be Cryptic Command. Yep, counter tap. Well, friend, I'm sorry I can't say your name, but cheers all the same. Thank you for the hydration. We'll get our last hammer. I think we just pass at this point here. We could draw a card, but that loses basically all of our mana. Maybe we'll play Springleaf Drum. Gain control of our Memnite. So that's going to end the game quite quickly. Ends the game immediately, in fact. GG. We'll just hit 6 here. If opponent wants to continue playing cards, that's more time off their clock. Good game. Alright, so what do we play versus Control? We got Pithing Needle. Prismatic Ending doesn't seem like it would be too hot. Magistrate says that Snapcaster doesn't have text. I don't think we want Prismatic Ending. It's going to be too difficult for us to hit any other Planeswalkers. Tormod's Crypt, I don't think we really want either. We're just going to have the one Magistrate, the one Pithing Needle. I think the only card that Magistrate turns off in their deck is Snapcaster Mage, so it's not that hot. We're really after, like, Urza's Saga is where we want to be. And first turn Esper Sentinel, of course, would be amazing. Ooh, good point, Parole. Should have thought of that. They almost certainly have Stony Silence. Hopefully we'll get a game 3 to correct that mistake. We have Hammer, we have Nexus, but we don't have any way to equip the Hammer. We don't have Esper Sentinel. I'm going to mulligan this, see if we can find something better. This hand is way better. Turn 1 Esper Sentinel all the way. I think we'll just get rid of a Silent Clearing here. Actually, we'll get rid of the Plains. We don't have to worry too much about our life total. The Silent Clearing could come in handy later. Oh, they have a Stony Silence right on top. Inkmoth Nexus would have been so much better as Urza Saga here, obviously. Okay, so are they going to let me draw a card? No. Path to Exile. Targeting the Esper Sentinel. They're probably going to pay for the Esper Sentinel as well. They do. No draw for us. Field of Ruin for our Nexus. Yep. Are they going to play the Stony Silence, though? They would have to take down Counterspell to do it. It looks like they're going to throw down the... No? No, this is a Teferi Time Raveler. Maybe bounce Memnite? Nope, tick up. Another Bauble. They have Archmage Charm. Terrifying. And we have Stoneforge Mystic. So drawing that card isn't really going to help us. We can attack for extra damage with the Inkmoth Nexus. And pull that Teferi down to 3. You would bauble them after their draw? I love the Urza Saga here. Bauble us doesn't give us anything. Fair enough. I was trying to see is there any reason for us to draw this card, but I don't think there would have been because we would have had no mana. Alright, so they have the Field of Ruin for our Saga. What is this? Snapcaster Mage to path the Lurrus on our draw step. Yeah, Saga, not the hottest at all. But Cranial Plating's not too bad. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inkmoth Nexus hits for half. We could actually kill the 3 fairy. Oh, they have Force of Negation for the Cranial Plating. Okay. What do we do then? I think we just go Stoneforge and attack with the Inkmoth. So opponents kind of down on lands here. They have 3 lands in play to our 7. But they still have 4 cards in hand to our 2. There's the Stony Silence that we've known about forever. And there's a Magistrate, too late to save our card from Snapcaster Mage. I think I want to draw a card first, see what we get off of this. Steelshaper's Gift. We've already lost the plating, so that's not going to get us anything too good. It could get us a spear, but we can't use that. We really need a Sigarda's Aid to get our cards unlocked. Kind of thinking about the boots. No, we just have no way to equip them. Let's just go get another hammer. And hopefully we'll find a Sigarda's Aid so we can put these hammers onto something. Kill Saga with Field of Ruin, I think, is what's happening. Get a Springleaf Drum, that's no good. Does nothing. Let's kill 3 Fairy. I guess they could trade a Snapcaster for Stoneforge. No, they got Path. So they just get to keep their 3 Fairy for another round. And we're close on time again, so I'm going to have to make sure that I speed up a little bit so I have more time than the opponent. You can hard equip Hammer, not with a Stony Silence in play. It's not often we would get up to that much mana, but yep, that is the level we're sitting at. Another Inkmoth Nexus. Alright, so we right-click the Nexus, newly controlled. Use that one to add mana. Attack all at 3 Fairy, hold the Ornithopter back. Stop it! Another Field of Ruin gets rid of our Inkmoth Nexus. We draw the Sigarda's Aid, though. So this needs to be countered, I think. Now they have the Opt. Looking for that counterspell. Do they find Cryptic Command? Oh, they left a card on top. Oh, they found another Opt is what they found. Card on bottom with Opt. We got the Sigarda's Aid to land. Okay. So Inkmoth Nexus is not going to win the game because of Field of Ruin, but we can still activate it. Make it a thing. And then we're going to put 1 hammer on Ornithopter, 1 hammer on Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, go to combat. Attack them with 2 lethal threats, and Inky can go at Teferi, who cares? Nice! We got game 2! Opponent has 6 minutes and 30 seconds to win a game. Wow, this is such a hard matchup. Okay, so we wanted to bring in Seal of Cleansing for the hate card they have there, Stony Silence. And yeah, the Drannith Magistrate doesn't seem very good. Those Path to Exile were just giving us lands. Speaking of which, we're going to take out a Plains here. We're on the draw, and opponent is basically giving us lands. So we'll take out a Plains for the extra Seal of Cleansing. We still got 20 lands in the deck, with a very low CMC for the average. DWG, TK42, thank you for the follow, friend. They do have Snapcasters. I had Magistrate in the deck for Game 2. They saw Magistrate. Not sure that I want to go so far as Tormod's Crypt versus them. It could be a good 1-for-1. But I think Magistrate would just be a better option than Crypt. We'll get rid of a Bauble for a Magistrate. Okay, so we got a 1-land hand, but we have Sigarda's Aid, we have a Hammer. We're going to keep this and hope that we draw land. No luck on the first turn. Play Sigarda's Aid, play Ornithopter, pass turn. Play hit 6 during the opponent's turn here. Oh, Stony Silence. But we draw the Hammer, chat. They can win without Colonnade. They could steal our Ornithopter, for example. They have the Path. Well, we get a Plains, which is a good thing here. Play Memnite. And play another Sigarda's Aid. Oh, Esper Sentinel. That is a good card in this matchup. A lot of choices here. Puresteel Paladin is not very good. I kind of like just slamming the Stoneforge Mystic. Make them use one of their counter spells. Cryptic Command, yep. Ooh. Okay, they're going big early, but they've only got 5 minutes left to finish the game, so they're going to have to keep that in mind too. There's Inky. Alright, let's see if they have Counterspell. Oh, they let the Stoneforge resolve pretty easily. They could just be intending on countering the Hammer. We could play the Esper Sentinel to play through Counterspell. Or maybe they just don't have it. I don't like letting them untap. They have the counterspell. Okay. They could have countered Esper Sentinel regardless. Tough, though. Yeah, I probably should have played the Esper Sentinel there, and then we could have slammed the Colossus Hammer into play with Stoneforge Mystic. That probably would have been better. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I forgot they could actually activate Colonnade here. So I should not have activated the Nexus. And now I can't even make mana from it. That was a mistake. Alright, let's see if they counter the Sentinel. If they counter the Sentinel, they can't use the Colonnade. Okay, so they can't use the Colonnade now. Put them down to 6. Now they got plenty of lands available, but they're not doing much else. How do you feel about a Magistrate, opponent? Alright, pass turn. Probably done, yep. But opponent only has 4 minutes on their clock, so they gotta kill us fast. No attacks, because they have the Colonnade to just kill one of our critters. Okay, so they're swinging in for some damage this turn, which means I don't think they're going to have enough mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, they're going to have exactly enough mana because of Teferi. Pithing Needle is pretty good. We can turn off the Colonnade. Attacking Teferi so it doesn't start exiling all of our stuff. Could have needled Teferi. We could have, yes. That would have also been very good. This is so tense. Yeah, we're 1-1. Time almost up. Tap all our creatures. Nothing we can do about that. We're just going to hit 6 here. There's nothing else for us to do this turn. And 6 through the opponent's turn, too. Teferi goes up again. We gotta find those cryptic commands. Oh, opponent scoops! We have... Our only lands are Urza Sagas. Not too interested in this hand, to be honest. Oh, we're playing against elementals. This hand is okay. We're gonna keep it. And I think we'll get rid of... Oh, this is actually hard. Because I want to play the Puresteel Paladin, so I need the double white. And that means we don't get Urza Saga. Okay, well, we can keep the Urza Saga. We'll just get rid of, like, Memnite or something. Play Esper Sentinel first. Not a great play versus elementals. It's basically going to get nothing for us, but it is a 1-1. It is an artifact. Ornithopter, okay. So we could play Urza's Saga, Cranial Plating, or we could play Puresteel Paladin. Puresteel Paladin gets the Cranial Plating onto the Esper Sentinel next turn, whereas Urza's Saga gets us the Hammer faster. I'm kind of interested in actually playing the Cranial Plating, especially with Ornithopter, so we can start getting in for some flying damage. So I think we play Puresteel Paladin this turn. That would be bad versus Fury. That would be really bad versus Fury. So maybe we just play the Plating, play the Ornithopter, and then play the Puresteel Paladin next turn. And that lets us play the Urza Saga this turn. It does mean that we're not going to draw a card with Puresteel Paladin. What the... Okay. Get a Stoneforge Mystic, so that's going to get us Hammer. So we could make a construct, or we could put Cranial Plating onto the Esper Sentinel. If we put the Cranial Plating onto the Esper Sentinel, we can do some amazing stuff with Hammer next turn. All right, let's equip this over here. And we'll get in for flying damage. Oh, it deals 6 damage to target creature. So they can kill our Puresteel Paladin here. No, they're killing the Esper Sentinel! What? Wrong move. So I think we go get... Oh, actually, no, that is pretty good. I mean, they get the 6-1, but it stays on the battlefield, right? Sacrifice this permanent during the beginning of the next end step. Brutal. So they do get to get rid of the Puresteel Paladin as well. So in that case, we probably just make a construct, since we're not going to be able to put the hammer on anything. Let's see what we draw. We get a hammer. So yeah, we can't put hammer on anything. Let's make a construct, and we'll go get a spear. Spite Bellows. This is a very different elemental deck from what I'm used to. I think this is sort of like the older version. This is going to be a Skelemental, yes indeed. Trample and Haste, and when it hits us, we have to discard 2 cards. So we're going to be discarding some cards, but we're going to get the construct going after this. Alright, let's swing in for 6 lifelink. Risen Reef is fine. Oh, they get another Thunderkin? So they can Spite Bellows again? Oh, this is all fine. Oh, it's not quite lethal, is it? Let's draw a card, see if we can get another 0-mana artifact. Nope. Alright. Opponent concedes to that anyway. Okay, so we're playing against elementals. Sanctifier actually seems pretty good versus this elementals deck. Remove their red creatures from the graveyard. Not too interested in the Memnites in this matchup. Esper Sentinel's not too good in this matchup. I'm seeing like how many cards we can take out before we can really start bringing stuff in. But we can bring in quite a few things, I think. Alright, so this says opponents can't cast spells. The opponent's abilities aren't casting them. They're just bringing them into play, so that's not going to work in our favor. We could bring in Prismatic Ending, though. Doesn't seem great, honestly, versus the opponent's deck. I think it's probably going to rot in hand most of the time. So maybe we leave Prismatic Ending where it is. Okay, so if we're bringing in Sanctifiers and Paths, we only need to take out 5 cards. Like I said, Esper Sentinel is not going to be very good in this matchup, so I would actually rather keep the Memnites over the Esper Sentinels. So they're basically the same card, but Memnite costs 0, whereas Esper Sentinel costs 1. Swiftfoot Boots. I think we'll keep the Cranial Plating. They don't have a lot of relevant 2+ for Prismatic. I mean, how many relevant targets do they have for Prismatic? I'm not sure. Yeah, exactly. They don't have a lot of 1s. We're looking at, like, Prismatic is for 1s and 2s. For us, anyways. It can hit more, but generally it won't. Alright, we're going to submit with this. Show them our kitty. And they show us their Orphan Guard. It's a cat beast. Alright, so we got Sigarda's Aid. We got so many ways to equip a hammer, but no hammer. We're going to keep this anyways. Hammer is the easiest card to find. So we get to play turn 1 Sigarda's Aid Mishra's Bauble, that's fine. And we get Stoneforge Mystic, which finds us Hammer. Wonderful. Mishra's Bauble. They're not going to have any kind of hand discard effects, so we're going to use the Mishra's Bauble now. They have a reflecting pool on top. Grief does exist in the elemental decks. That's very true. That is something that I forgot about. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, Harbinger sets up the top card of their deck. It's going to be a Smoke Braider. Interesting choice. Hey, from the Crypt, welcome, welcome. So, did you pop the question? We get a path. Oh, I see. So they put the Smoke Braider on top with Aether Vial before their draw step, and then put it into play, I think is what happened. Anyways, I think we just go Stoneforge Mystic here, go get Hammer. They could have a really scary thing next turn. Fair enough. Gotta find the right time and place, right? Smoke Braider is super scary. If they have a card like that in their deck, what are they going to do with it? Happy Friday. Okay, there's the Fury. So that's going to kill our Stoneforge Mystic. No big deal, honestly. Okay, let's play Puresteel Paladin. And I think we just slam a Hammer onto it immediately. Oh, Urza Saga. Nice. Okay, Risen Reef. So they're really going into the hard value here. Ooh, this is going to be, what's name? Omnath? Yep. So much value. We got Pair of Path to Exile, but our mana's tapped because we wanted to Puresteel Paladin that turn. No regrets. Another Risen Reef. So much value. They really went off this turn. Shriek Maw kills our Puresteel Paladin. GG. They're getting too much value with double Risen Reef here. Even our double path, we're not going to be able to win this, I don't think. Oh no, Force of Vigor. So we can path. Oh man, this is so abysmal. I don't think there's any way we can honestly win this game. Opponent only has one card left in hand, but they can go get this thing. Give their elementals +1/+1 in vigilance. We have to get rid of Omnath and probably Risen Reef. This thing has double strike. This looks like a loss to me. Okay, we're going to game 3. Don't think I really want to make any changes. We could bring in Prismatic Ending. It does hit some of their small things, but again, like that's just not where we want to be. I think Path is the better option, even though it didn't do us too much good that game, because opponent just went way too wide. Let's see what we get for this hand. Not great, but it does have all the pieces that we need. Puresteel, Stoneforge. I guess we keep it. We're on the play, so we got a little bit of time. And our opponent is on the mull. Okay, they only mull once. Pass turn. Ornithopter, good draw. Gets us another piece of Metalcraft. Go get Hammer, play Ornithopter, pass turn. So next turn we can attack with a... No, we need another artifact before we can attack with a Hammer creature. There's an Awakener, but they have nothing to go with it yet. Urza's Saga. Okay. Tricky. I kind of like keeping the path open so they can't, like, deal 6 to something. Because, yeah, if we play the Puresteel Paladin here, they're probably just going to kill it. And we can't put the hammer onto our critters yet. So I think we hold up the path. We could put Luris in hand. Gonna hold up path. And if we want to, we can put the Colossus Hammer into play with Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, so Foundation Breaker is going to be able to get rid of Urza's Saga. With toughness less than Thunderkin's Awakener's toughness. Nice draw. Take 12. Okay, and we put everything onto the Puresteel Paladin so that it can't be killed by damage. Although we could have been like just as well off putting all this onto the Ornithopter there. Probably would have been a little bit better to do that. Not sure. Risen Reef, that's fine. Don't think Risen Reef beats this board. They could have Solitude. Yeah, Fury's not going to do it. It does get them another look with Risen Reef, though. And it kills 2 of our critters, but it's not enough. Not nearly enough. Hammer Time goes for the 4-1. Ornithopter is safer if Shriekmaw. Thank you, Extra Medium. Was not thinking about that, personally. Wasn't thinking enough when I moved my equipment over to the Paladin, but it turned out that it didn't matter. Opponent needed some very specific cards in order to punish that line. All right, well that's decent. We got a 4-1 with Hammer Time. Our one loss was actually versus a good matchup, but our opponent played very well. We played a little bit loose, and that's what happens. But still very happy with this league. 4-1 is pretty good. As far as the deck goes, very happy with it. Swiftfoot Boots, I think, is like one card that I'm definitely on the fence about. I could see switching the Swiftfoot Boots with like another Springleaf Drum, but when the boots work, they work really, really well. Same with Cranial Plating. It's nice to have a card in the deck that we can win with that isn't Colossus Hammer, so I've stuck the plating in the deck, and I'm pretty happy that we had it for this league. We did not see the mirror match, so we didn't get to use our Manriki-Gusari, but I think that in the current meta, it's absolutely necessary to have this in your sideboard. As far as the sideboard goes in general, I was very happy with it. We didn't get a chance to use a lot of the cards in it, like Sanctifier wasn't as good as it could have been, Magistrate wasn't as good as it could have been, but I think that this is pretty close to the sideboard that you want for the current meta. Magistrate is pretty good against a lot of the Cascade decks that are coming out recently. I think that we do need some answer to what Cascade is doing. But, I mean, there are other options. Another card that I was thinking about that I like having this sideboard is Defense Grid, but I took that out so we could run the Magistrate. Defense Grid would have been really nice versus that control deck. Yeah, there's a lot of Cascade decks right now. Living End is one of the best ones. Then there's also the Crashing Rhinos, Crashing Footfalls or whatever. And then there's another deck as well. I don't remember what it's called, but like it sacrifices all the permanents on their side of the board and then reveals cards from the top of the library and puts permanents onto the board. Cranial Plating, yeah. What about Void Mirror? I mean, Void Mirror also hinders us, right? Like, how are we going to cast Memnites and Mishra's Baubles through a Void Mirror? So, like, Drannith Magistrate is, I think, the best option that we have access to. It also does carry a hammer, which is pretty nice. I like having more creatures in this deck as opposed to fewer. And one way you can actually do that is by playing Ingenious Smith. Personally, I don't want that kind of RNG in my deck. I don't want to be looking at the top 4 cards and whiffing, finding no artifacts. But several people in the community have come forward and said that Ingenious Smith is a good card, and it absolutely can go in this deck. Yeah, like, that's the kind of card that I prefer to avoid. Most people that have been watching this channel for some time know my feelings about Collected Company. They are mixed, but mostly I do not want to play that card. I understand that it's a good card, but too many times it's said 4 mana, take the top 6 cards of your library and put them onto the bottom. Or sometimes maybe it puts a Bird of Paradise into play, and I feel bad. And because of those feelings, I don't want to play Ingenious Smith personally, but from what I have read, it has an 80% chance of working. So 4 out of 5 times, you're going to get a card out of it. And even if it doesn't work, it's still a body that grows turn after turn. So even if, it's a 2 mana 1/1, turn 2, it's a 2/2. Turn 3 that it's in play, it's a 3/3. And it continues to grow, and the opponent has to deal with it, because eventually it will win the game. And if they do deal with it, we can bring it back with Lurrus, unlike Steelshaper's Gift. So, like, personally, that would be the slot that I would put it into. I would replace Steelshaper's Gift with Ingenious Smith, and then that would would keep all the artifacts in our deck, so we're not replacing artifacts with a card that needs artifacts in our deck. And then it also gives us another creature to win the game with. So while I personally wouldn't play the card, I am going to say that it's fine in this deck.